right, man. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I know I've had a fantastic weekend. Welcome back, man. I hope the week is starting off strong for everybody. Let's have a good show today, man. So welcome back to another episode of the Jayson Estrera podcast, where we talk about basketball as accurate as possible. Now, we do have quite a few games to talk about today. I have a take on the Houston Rockets that will probably turn a couple heads. We're going to talk a little bit about the New York Knicks and the potential of Karl Anthony Towns not being there by the end of the season, and a whole lot more. Now, I did really want to start with, where do we want to start? How about this? Let's start with the Los Angeles Lakers, because I think we can get through them a lot rather quickly. I know we've talked about the Los Angeles Lakers a lot this year. We've talked about Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, and LeBron James a lot this season already. And from the beginning, as much praise as I've given them, I also have a lot of criticism with Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves, right? So it's not like I completely believe in these guys. And I think a loss to the Clippers isn't a great sign, right? It's not a great sign. And this is something that we've talked about before with LA. If Luka isn't getting the calls that he typically gets, right? If the referees aren't giving him the whistle that benefits him, it makes the game really, really difficult, right? And I know that he left this game with a leg contusion. He only played in the first half. And they end up losing this game 103-88. LeBron had 36, 4 and 3. But outside of him, no one else was really able to get going on offense. And, you know, that's very evident with the 88 points that the Los Angeles scored in 2025, mind you. And, you know, the Clippers, it's not like they scored a bunch of points. They only had 103, thanks to the 32 points from Kawhi Leonard and 21 from James Harden. But really, the story of this game is Luka missed his first 6 shots of this game, right? He missed the first 6 shots. But also, some of the shots that he was missing, he was only taking this shot trying to get a call, right? And this is something that we've seen before. He likes to hunt those fouls. He likes to try to bait some of these calls, and then he complains about it when he doesn't get them. And I think that was established pretty early in this game. Let me try to find it. Hold on, I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. Oh my God, my allergies have been fucking terrible. Um, Here, I'm trying to find these 2 shots that he was really looking for these calls. It starts here, right? It starts here. And this is something, if you watch enough NBA games, you realize certain things get established very quickly, right? And so if we take a look at this, this is a shot attempt in the first quarter for Luka. They're down 9-0. 8:46 left in the first quarter. What's good, Elijah? Jason, feeling like that tonight? Feel like what? Midnight Jason, yes, Sirski. I've been liking these late night streams, man. It's been a vibe. In and out, Jason. Pause. Pause. That sounds crazy. Although I do love In-N-Out. I love In-N-Out. How you feeling, Elijah? How you feeling? How you doing today, babe? How you doing today, baby? How you doing? Put it in the bag, Jason. That's crazy. Would you just... I'm not too sure what you mean by that, so I'm gonna just take offense to it. The same way Luka was taking offense to these non-calls all night. Let's take a look at this. Oh, it's a short sleeve. This the winter fit, yo. This guy saying, bro. All right, let's I know you love these segments, man. Let's cook Luka real quick.
Doncic, tailgated by Dunn, creates the contact
with the chain. This the what's up, girlfriend? Yo, Elisha's in a Friday mood on a Monday. That's diabolical. That's diabolical, my boy. So what do you guys think? Is this a foul or not? What do you think, Elijah? Is this a foul or not?
Tailgated by Dunn, creates the contact, cannot create the...
And you see he looks right at the referee and says something immediately, right? It says something to the referee immediately. Where was the...
A familiar view here.
Where was this? Where was the... Shit, which one is this? It was the 2-point field goal.
LeBron takes his seat. He's done all of scoring so far for the Lakers. Doncic tries to end that. Stripped by Leonard. Recover.
And again, in this scenario, looking for the foul call, and you could just see the body language, and you just see the body language, right? Unethical Luka. I hate people saying that could go either way, though. And this is true, right? It can go either way. I completely agree with you, Elijah. But the reality is, especially in the playoffs, right? Someone like Luka Doncic, I'm not going to say that he depends on that call, because I think Luka can go and get, he can go and get his points without those calls, right? But he likes to try to get those calls. And if he's not getting those calls, he's not getting to the basket, getting the bump float shots in, and he's settling for this. Mind you, 1, 2, 3, 4. We've missed 4 shots in a row at this point, right? He's missed 4 shots in a row. If you're Luka Doncic, 4:26 in the first. You're down 20-9. You have John Collins on you, and this is the shot that you settle for. Right? And Luka has shown that he can get very hot very quickly, right? And so we're not going to act like he's not able to shoot himself out of these games, but this is how he gets to the 9 for 36s, the 5 for 22s. Like, this is how that happens, because when he's not getting those calls, he's still putting those up. And then instead of getting good shots in between, he's taking a bunch of tough step back threes, long step back twos. And this is what I think will ultimately hurt LA in the long run. That's another reason I said it's going to be hard to win it all. That 100%. 100%. Because, the reason Shea is able to be so consistent, right? And I know Shea gets a lot of shit for baiting foul calls, even though I think some of them are just really smart. Players are not disciplined on defense, right? Players are just hands out everywhere, reaching in, feet out of position. You're too high on the three-point shooter. Like, there's a lot of mistakes that these defensive players make, and Shea just takes advantage of them. But the thing about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the reason he's able to shoot at such a high clip, whether they're calling a bunch of fouls for him or not, even though, let's be honest, most of the time they do, but he could switch it up, right? He has other stuff that he could go to. If that whistle isn't getting called, he's going to get to his bump fadeaway. He's going to get to that pull up no matter what, no matter how the game is going. There are shots that he could get to that are his go-to shots that aren't necessarily foul baiting. And that's how he's able to get to 30 points so consistently game in and game out. And right now, Luka does not. His go-to shot is the foul baiting shot. He's going to try to get into the lane, left shoulder bump into that floater. That's the go-to shot that he's currently on. You don't get the same calls, and like you're saying, those are terrible shots. People overdoing Shea. I get that he gets calls, but I mean, he also just giving y'all buckets. He for sure is. And I mean, but Elijah, like, this is, I agree with you. I think people make a lot out of nothing. When you're the MVP, arguably the best player in the world, right? Look at the calls that Jokic gets. Right? The amount of times where it feels like Jokic will complain to a ref and they're like, oh, shit, you're right. And then they'll reverse the call for the Nuggets. Right? Because he has a good relationship with the referees. He doesn't just curse them out every time. You could see the dialogue. Right? And so when they ask for something, they're almost like, ah, shit, we'll give it to you. Why not? And that's something that that's something that Jokic has an advantage of over other players. They just kind of go about their business. I think Jokic probably, between Jokic and Shea, Jokic complains a lot more than Shea does. Shea just kind of goes about his shit. But I think this is the problem that the Lakers are going to run into, right? If they're not getting their whistle, because they might get their whistle a game or two here in the, in the playoffs. But if you're talking about the Lakers, both Luka and Austin Reeves rely on that on that thin line of baiting fouls. So if they're not getting that whistle and you're getting tough step back shots, it's gonna be a long night, right? And then what's going to end up happening is they're gonna end up having to rely on LeBron to get downhill, get foul calls, be physical in the paint. And that's a 40-year-old LeBron James that you're asking to do that. It's not an ideal situation if you're the Lakers. Look at the calls Norman Powell gets. 9 out of 10 times he isn't foul baiting. It's good plays, and he gets arguably the best whistle in the league. People just don't want to pick on him. No, that's facts. And you know how it goes, Elijah. You know how it goes. Like, pick any player, right? Cooper Flag gets 12 free throws. I think he had a bunch in that 40-point game. Pick any other player, right? Any other player that's not named Luka, that's not named Shea, that's not named Jalen Brunson. Any other player could shoot 15 plus 20 free throws and get 40, 50 points. No one bats an eye, right? There's a certain reputation, and we've talked about this before too, right? There's a certain reputation that players get. And realistically, once you have that sticker on you, it's really hard to get it off, right? Once you got that sticker on your car, it's hard to get rid of that. To get rid of that stigma, right? Once you're called a foul baiter, pause if necessary. Once you're called an unethical hooper, that sort of just follows you. And if you are considered an ethical hooper and you have a game where you go and get 20 free throws because you're baiting dumbass defensive players into positions that aren't good for them, then you're doing the same thing these guys are doing, is just kind of flying under the radar. But we see that all the time. It comes with the territory, right? You're one of the best players in the league. You can't just get praise. You can't just get any praise. But let's move right along. Let's move it right along now. Well, shit. Speaking of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the and the Oklahoma City Thunder, we might as well get to this. Where is this at? Hold up. We might as well get to this, and I think this will be good to watch, because a tight game, right? A tight game where the Oklahoma City Thunder lost to the Minnesota Timberwolves 112-107, and had some really clutch moments from Anthony Edwards, which we are going to talk about. Let's take a look at this together, man.
Crowd rising to their feet.
You know what shot he's trying to get to, right? If you're a defender, you got to know what shot he's trying to get to. And granted, he just makes a really tough shot here.
Edwards working on Wallace. Step back, fires. Cash!
That's tough.
And how about this?
What an unbelievable shot against one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. And the step back, the three, and the crowd goes delirious.
That's
There's
tough.
the most dangerous man.
I gotta slow this down, because let's let it play out.
In the building, Gilgeous-Alexander driving.
Big block by Anthony Edwards. But, you know, in this time where everyone talks about a bag, everyone talks about bag this, bag that, bag this, bag that. And I wanted to break down the simplicity of what Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is able to do when you talk about having a bag. Right? So Jaden McDaniels is a very good defender, and at 6'8", 6'9", he's got a lot of size. Andre Iguodala swipe, cocked and ready to go. But watch how Shai is able to attack his top foot. Right? He does this hang dribble, switches his hips, attacks the top foot, and it is so easy and simple. And the only thing really is, if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander were named Michael Jordan, he dunks this bitch. Like that's really the only difference in this situation. But, you know, we talk about bags all the time. That tween was disgusting against a really, really good defender in Jaden McDaniels, a really good perimeter defender. And Shai gets around him like he's not even there with just a simple move, just understanding movement, hesitating the ball just enough to get him to second guess himself. You saw he almost put his left foot back to open up, and then he put it back up, and Shai was able to attack him in that moment and get right around him, even though he does get blocked over here. Eli, what's up? What's good, Eli? What's good? Let's look at the end of this, man. Let's go back to sleep timer. Nope. Let's go back to normal speed.
Driving, blocked at the rim by Edwards. Caruso with it. Out
Big
the
block.
door. Williams for three. Won't go. Edwards snacks the board.
All right, we don't need two ways.
Williams will make Minnesota foul. SGA working on Edwards. Lost the handle.
Credit to Anthony Edwards on some really good defensive play right there. What vibe is Jason's fit today? Oh my God, Elijah. But that stretch right there, right? That stretch right there for Anthony Edwards against reigning MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to win a basketball game. You hit the clutch three you get the block on the MVP, and then you get the steal on the MVP, right? That sequence is why I, along with a lot of other people, expect a lot more out of Anthony Edwards. It's why I've been sitting here since last year saying, all right, like you're a good player, you're a two-way player, you've gotten Michael Jordan comparisons, all that stuff is cool. It's time for you to really step into that light. Because I think it's getting to the point with Anthony Edwards where his star is shining brighter than his game. Because all of the commercials that we've seen him in, he's such an unbelievable personality. He really sells the NBA game well. He connects to so many people. And on top of that, some of the off the court drama that he's been dealing with. But I think some of that at times outshines how good of a basketball player he is, because he hasn't yet taken that leap into an MVP convo, into, all right, we get it, you're one of the best players in the league, but at some point you got to start taking that leap individually, in my opinion. But he still hasn't done that. If you throw a flannel over, we can get you an instant job offer from Google. That's how you feeling? That's how you feeling? But I think really a part of this also with Anthony Edwards, right? Similar to a Luka Doncic, his go-to move is a step back three, right? He wants to hang dribble into a punch dribble step back at the three-point line. That's the shot that he wants to get to, right? And he's able to do other things in the game, but, and we keep going back to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Shai gets to a lot of the same shots. And I think right now, Anthony Edwards is one, I think he's stuck between trying to be a lot of different players, right? We've talked about this before. He kept talking about Steph Curry and wanting to shoot the three like him. Now all of a sudden it's Michael Jordan, and I don't know, tomorrow it might be freaking Dirk Nowitzki. Like, who knows what Anthony Edwards and the people around him think being the best looks like. And I think at this point, he needs to really start owning his personality and owning his style. Because he could try to be whoever, you could name it. He could try to be Jordan. He could try to be Steph Curry. He could try to be whoever. But Anthony Edwards is Anthony Edwards. I think he's a freak athlete. He's got a good feel for the game offensively and defensively. I think he just needs to get his go-to shots and be himself and stop trying to be like everybody else. And I think if he were to do that, I think he already got a really good three ball. He plays both sides of the ball. We've seen him be really aggressive. If he can get some go-to shots locked down and really fill the shoes of Anthony Edwards, he could really jump into that MVP convo. But right now, he's still a player that keeps showing shines, that keeps showing moments, glimpses. Right? That's what we keep seeing. He keeps getting glimpses. But, there's only so long we could say, wow, we saw a glimpse of you being a MVP candidate, or we saw a glimpse of you being so-and-so before 10 years go by and you 31 years old without an MVP, right? That's something that could happen very quickly before you know it for someone like Anthony Edwards, which I hope doesn't happen because I think he's a really good player. I think it'd be really fun to see him going toe-to-toe competing against the best players in the world. Now,
Normally, like the Knicks.
Where is this? Now, we gotta, anytime we get a chance, right? We got to talk about the New York Knicks. And with Jalen Brunson, who gets 47, like he went and got 47. I think it's important to, one, give him a lot of credit, right? And I want to highlight him because, and we've talked about this with the Knicks, on a team where I think there are so many question marks and what ifs, right? Josh Hart, his 3-point shot, right? That's a question mark. If it's going in and he's shooting 35-40%, I mean, that's a big what if. OG Anunoby's health, big what if. Mikal Bridges, I think he's a very solid player, but he's just not what I imagined personally. And maybe that's to my own fault. But, I think he could be hit or miss at times. And we're going to talk about in Karl Anthony Towns in a second. He could be a big what if during the playoffs. Also, Jalen Brunson better than Wemby. I know you feel that way. But the one person, right, that is absolutely not a what if when it comes to the New York Knicks is Jalen Brunson. This guy is steady. This guy is consistent. He knows where he's going to get his shots. He's got his, we were just talking about go-to shots. He got his go-to shots. And again, a player that he's going to try to play the game within a game. Right? He's going to try to get some of those calls at his size. He's going to try to force you in bad positions as a defender and take advantage of that, right? And he also has a game if they're not giving him those calls, right? That's why he's able to be so consistent and hit such big shots. So he's the only one giving Hacker in an action movie, Elijah. I'm dead. Josh Hart's better than Lonzo at this point. At this point, Josh Hart is honestly, he's. I was watching their game the other night when Stan Van Gundy was calling it. I'm in head ass. But Stan Van Gundy kept talking about how Josh Hart is one of the best players in the open court, comparing him to like a Giannis and whatnot. And I don't know if he's necessarily Giannis, but he really is unbelievable in the open court. And like I said, if he could just really be confident in that 3-point shot and hit it consistently, at times you could see the lack of confidence in that shot, right? There's times where you could really see it in his play. But if he's able to hit that, I mean, sky is really the limit for him and this team. But I really did want to talk about Cap because I know he was out the game after the Cup game, and then he's been back the last two. He had 22, I think, the previous night, I believe, right? I think he had 22. And he was in this game, played 28 minutes and 47 seconds, right? 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 3 turnovers, 4 personal fouls, and was 1 of 5 from the field for 2 points. And the thing about Karl Anthony Towns that, I've seen playoff after playoff after playoffs is he has these games. He has games like this in the playoffs where, for whatever reason, he seems disengaged. He's keeps giving the basketball up, even though you're one of the 2-3 best players on this floor at any given time in damn near any given series. Right? I genuinely, I think there will be very few series that Karl Anthony Towns will be in where he's not one of the 3 best players on the floor at any given time against any team. And to go 28 minutes and shoot 5 shots, again, it's not a game where he shot badly and took 15 shots and it just wasn't falling. That shows a lack of aggression. That shows a fear. That shows, and this is consistent with him. He definitely ain't seen Delano and Chris Boucher on the break. He definitely has not. But that's a problem if you're Karl Anthony Towns. Tyler Kolek took more shots than you. Mikal Bridges took more shots than you. Josh Hart took more shots than you. OG Anunoby took more shots than you. You got to be in the top 3 in shots every game, bro. If you're playing 28 plus minutes, you got to be in the top 3 in shots every game. I think that's just a very simple thing to ask. And again, a lot of question marks when it comes to this New York Knicks team. Again, I said it before and I'll say it again. I really do think that the NBA Cup championship, the way it is currently, serves as a Band-Aid for these teams that have championship aspirations. It puts a Band-Aid on some of these issues that maybe they are not trying to face, that maybe they don't know how to solve or fix. Maybe they're strapped by the roster, by a player, whatever the situation is. But that seems to be the consistent theme, at least the last 2 championships between the Lakers and the Milwaukee Bucks. The Cup was just a Band-Aid for issues that they have and that they were never able to fix ultimately by the end of the year, because Kyle Kuzma for sure did not solve anything for that Bucks team. But kudos to Jalen Brunson. We gotta wait and see what happens with the New York Knicks. Mikal Bridges worse than opening scene Calvin Cambridge. Hey, Calvin Cambridge is putting a lot of people in a blender. I promise you that. He putting a lot of folks in a blender. Now, let's watch this ending right here, because this is as good as it gets.
Contested, Jay around and out. Thompson the rebound.
Wow. I mean, those shots for Westbrook, they are all online.
That one, yeah, he's missed a couple and it basically popped in and out. Durant out high. Crowd on their feet here in Sacramento.
There's the double.
Working on the rookie. Jumps it off to Smith, quick release. Oh, and he got fouled.
He got fouled.
On Durant with the ball, trailing by 2 in overtime. Now to DeRozan. Working on Durant. DeRozan on the move. Kicks it back.
Oh, no.
Schroeder. The look. The shot. The make. And the core.
Beat you. High. And he's looking to score.
Tough shot.
To it. Gets pull it off.
Go direct to Şengün. They've done it before. Remember, it's the and he's going to have even more time if he wants this bucket here.
And now the Rockets are using their read. The inbounder. Comes into Durant. Shoots. Oh, he missed it.
And the Houston Rockets lose to the Sacramento Kings. And don't look now, but it feels like every other day you look, the Rockets potentially lose another spot in the standings. And I gotta say, it really feels like this is a coaching / personnel issue when it comes to the Houston Rockets, because down the stretch of games, they don't give you a different look. right? Yes, they're gonna go to Sengun, and yes, they're gonna go to Mikal Bridges almost. Not Mikal Bridges. Wow, to Kevin Durant most of the time or Sengun, but they're going to walk the ball up the floor, right? They're gonna walk the ball up, and they're gonna try to post one of those guys up. Maybe they'll run a pick and roll action between Kevin Durant and Sengun, but that's pretty much it. It's half-court offense that allows the defense to get set every single time. And when you have Amen Thompson on the floor, that's an extra defender that's allowed to load up and take away even more space that Kevin Durant or Sengun can get to. And we saw the tough shot that Jabari Smith had to take because of that exact situation. So, the issue that the Houston Rockets are facing right now is, without Fred VanVleet, they don't have a quick hit offense that could give you a different look down the stretch. He can look for a stagger pick and roll and try to get a quick shot within the first 7 to 10 seconds of the shot clock. They don't have that. They don't have someone that's just gonna, hey, call up Kevin Durant on a high pick and roll, try to look for a pick and pop. If both of them jump up, Fred VanVleet's gonna look for a shot or an opposite corner three. They don't have a point guard that could run stuff like that in a blink of an eye. And I think we're seeing it. Kevin Durant is a great closer. Kevin Durant makes tough shots. It's even more tough. It's even tougher if you have that person having to shoot over two people every time, because that guy is going to be sitting right there waiting for him. Right? And we see it time and again with this Houston Rockets team. They don't have another gear that they can get into. Their two best players are half-court guys. And they at this point in time aren't able to really weaponize Amen Thompson the way that they could. They tried with the whole point guard situation. His ball handling isn't where it's at. They could just foul him down the stretch. It's really not ideal. It's really not ideal. And so I think there's a real problem in Houston, and I don't know how they're going to fix it. I don't know how they're going to fix it. Maybe they go and get a Chris Paul, but now you're depending on a 40-year-old Chris Paul and a 37-year-old Kevin Durant. It sounds ridiculous to me. If you're like, to be honest, it sounds ridiculous. Do I think he can help this team? Yes. But the responsibility and what they would need to ask out of Chris Paul, because that's what this team needs, right? They need someone that's going to push the pace, right? Something as little as getting the ball, running it up the court so the other team is in a mismatch, right? They're not matched up with the right players, and now you're able to get into something quick on the offensive end, right? Because right now they're eating a good 8 seconds off their shot clock. 8+ seconds. I feel like every time they get into their offense, they're at 16 to 14 seconds when they get into their offense, and guys are having to get and work at 8, 7, 6 seconds left on the shot clock. That's just really tough, if you ask me. Markelle Fultz, if you're looking at CP, Fultz would get much better. That's not a bad shout. The last I remember of Fultz, he was pretty solid, but would you really... You're trusting... That's a big responsibility, Elijah. Right? Like, this team has championship aspirations. Kevin Durant is still playing at a high level. Sengun is playing at a high level. And you're just looking for a guy to really add a different gear to this team. And I think adding that different gear can also really unlock an Amen Thompson, right? He needs to be out in the fast break. He needs to be in the open floor. and use his speed and athleticism. And you have two guys that want to play half court with Kevin Durant and Sengun, which right now is making shots even tougher for both of them, right? Because again, the defense is set and is able to get a good contest on a lot of these shots. That's why it's pretty impressive, some of the things that they're able to do. But I think that is the real big issue that we're facing if we are the Houston Rockets. Let's take a look at this really quick. 118 in OT. I would expect Fultz to hopefully stop the bleeding, come in and change the pace, and eventually be a bench presence at the end of the year. But that still leaves them without a starting point guard. They need a starter, I think, is their issue right now. But this is the issue that having Amen Thompson on the floor really shows, right? And I think you have to force him into a tough position right over here.
Double team.
Right?
Finds Thompson into the corner for the tie.
And he hit that shot, but really it felt like it was way too difficult still. I wouldn't expect him to be a diamond in the rough. Is Fred completely done for the season? Isn't he done for the season? Yeah, it's a torn ACL. It's he's out for the season. He's finito, bro. He's finito, my boy. But we are just waiting too long. This is just so much time that we are just leaving. Attack this, right? And Sengun could have adjusted and have stayed high, right? He could have tried to stay free throw line, right, and be the quick outlet pass if need be, and have these guys play behind him. And Amen Thompson could have ate up this space back here. And that's obviously not what they did. But look at the issue that Amen Thompson being on the floor presents with his inability to shoot the basketball. You just allowed the defense to eat up all of your space on offense. And it's an issue that they're going to consistently find. And I think someone like a Chris Paul could really make him a lot more effective than he's being right now. But we'll see what happens, man. Again, I'm never wrong, just early. But that's going to do it for today's episode. It's a quick one. We're going to be right back to long episodes on Wednesday. Before I get out of here, though, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you have not done so. If you enjoyed this episode, if you like the analysis, if you like just chilling in here, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much. As always, y'all are the absolute GOATs. Elijah, you are, listen, bro, I cannot thank you enough. You are the GOAT. Eli, you're the GOAT. Everybody else that popped in, mom and dad, everyone else that popped in, I appreciate you guys. Y'all could have been anywhere on the internet, but y'all were here with me, and I really appreciate you for that. So thank you so much. I will see you guys back here on Wednesday. You have a great rest of y'all day. You have a great Tuesday. Thank you so much.